Coming up today, we'll discuss our Ohio State Buckeye women's basketball team and their upcoming NCAA tournament.
Also, we'll talk about service trips, gun control, and homeless shelters on today's show. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Buckeye TV. My name is Kelsey Miller.
And I'm Christian Snyder. Just for a quick weather update, what's the weather looking like outside today, Derek?
Well, it's pretty sunny and mild at the moment, but we do have a chance of some rain and snow showers later tonight, so we'll get the details of that later in the show.
All right.
Thank you so much for that. Yep. Deciding what to do over spring break can be overwhelming. Luckily, Ohio State's Outdoor Adventure Center offers trips for students.
You can spend a week sea kayaking at the Everglades or rock climbing in Utah. Reporter Kelsey Miller has more information.
The Department of Recreational Sports, among a multitude of student organizations across campus, provide opportunities for Buckeyes to travel the country during spring break. I sat down with a junior here at Ohio State to hear what she has to say about her upcoming adventure trip. Tell me a little bit about the specific trip you're going on.
So we'll be flying into Las Vegas, but then after that, we will go grocery shopping and get everything ready so that we can truly be backpacking and camping throughout the next 10 days.
What made you want to go on an adventure trip?
I've never been west before, and so that was super intriguing that I could go to Utah, and I'm a really active person, so I thought this was the perfect merge of getting to see natural beauty and challenging myself physically.
How have you been preparing or training for this trip?
Working on my calves and walking uphill and things like that I wouldn't normally do. I usually just run on flat ground, and so training for the uphills and things like that have been interesting. I've also utilized the arc a lot more and gone rock climbing so I can familiarize myself with that, and you use a lot of the tiny muscles in your hands and your forearms that you don't usually use. So I'm really excited, even though there are some nerves and a lot of people are going to be on the beach and I'm going to be camping, but I think it's going to be an awesome way to spend spring break.
Whether you're an adventurous person looking for a challenge or just wanting to try something new, the adventure trips through Ohio State are a great opportunity and worth checking out. I'm Kelsey Miller with Buckeye TV.
You can find more information at recsports.osu.edu/outdoor recreation.
The entire country is still buzzing about gun control after the school shooting last month in Florida. Buckeye TV reporter Christian Snyder has the latest.
The school shooting at a high school in Parkland, Florida last month that killed 17 people has once again sparked the debate over gun control in our country. I spoke with students here on campus to get their take on the controversial issue. The terrifying images from Parkland are still fresh in the minds of people all around the country, especially students. I asked Ohio State student William Needleman if he thought banning semi-automatic firearms would be a good thing or not.
So in my opinion, it would be a good thing. However, I think that this is an issue that a lot of people feel very passionately about. And so while I personally would be okay with it, I think that what might be a better strategy is to implement better gun control.
Gun control has taken center stage in Congress. Some argue for stricter background checks and raising the legal age of buying certain firearms, while others want a complete ban on assault rifles. President Trump has argued for arming teachers with guns as a solution to the increase in school shootings. Some Ohio State students disagree.
I think that arming teachers with guns is a bad idea. I think that it would actually put more students in danger.
There have been 21 school shootings so far in 2018, according to Everytown for Gun Safety. This includes accidental firings from school resource officers and activity on school grounds after hours. 4 of these shootings have been deadly. Students from all around the country are gathering later this month in Washington, D.C. for the March for Our Lives to express their thoughts on gun control to our politicians. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Christian Snyder. Diversity at OSU has seen a rise over the years, but there is still one group who hasn't seen as much growth. Here's Ibo Amisa Agre with the story.
Throughout the years at the Ohio State campus, enrollment numbers have increased steadily over the years. But one group of people that hasn't seen much is African American males in the university. The numbers have stayed stagnant at 2.6%, and the university hasn't had much to say about it. Ohio State University prides itself on having diversity at the school, but according to a recent story published in The Lantern, one group of people on campus hasn't seen much growth. Senior Darshid Muhammad still is a main skeptic of the university.
Because I mean, when you see black people on campus, and like every single one of them, like 2.6%, like that's like people, like, you know, like some people try to make the argument that that's like close to 5%.
Right.
When like in my head, that's close to like 1 or 2.
The university recorded a record high with 1,542 minority students enrolled. African American males still make up less than 3% of the undergraduate student population and less than 2% of first-year students. Ohio State junior Rachel DuPont still has some questions for the university.
I think it's a little bit disheartening, especially as a university that has an administration that touts diversity and inclusion. In terms of Dr. Drake's framework and plan for us at the university, that we can kind of have a lot of lip service and trying to increase diversity representation at the university in both students enrolled and faculty, and yet not a lot has changed. I did not necessarily know that exact number before this, but I'm glad that I do.
Although the data for Ohio State has shown recent improvements regarding campus diversity in the form of enrollment, the point of discrepancy between African American male enrollments will continue to be an issue at Ohio State. Ibrahim Musa, Great BuckeyeTV.
Travel experts are working on new technology that is capable of cutting travel time in half. Here's Ray Brewster with the story.
Columbus is one of the 35 cities to be selected for a Hyperloop train track. The Hyperloop will allow citizens to travel from Ohio to Chicago under 30 minutes and to Pittsburgh under 3 hours.
We visited an Ohio State campus to find out students' input on the Hyperloop.
I mean, I think it helped Columbus grow a lot. We'd be within, a lot shorter distance of Chicago, Pittsburgh.
Some students were optimistic, while others were pessimistic about the Hyperloop.
I think that would be interesting. I think the technology is interesting, but I've never seen one that's actually works or that's real. One of my friends worked on it at Berkeley, and it doesn't seem like they're really close. And I feel like with Amazon, I've seen a lot of them trying to come into Columbus would make it a lot more expensive, and would just fill up High Street with a lot more luxury condos and make it pretty hard to live around the city like people normally do.
It's hard to tell when the Hyperloop will be finished, but when it is, it will make a great impact. This is Ray Brewster from BuckeyeTV.
Up next, we talk LeBron James and his strong political stance, and also preview the women's NCAA tournament.